we good?
Okay.
Okay.
I'll do the experiment synopsis.
Okay.
Okay, so, well, basically it's like, is it possible for a person to develop a first language after they've already hit puberty? Because, like, they tried several teaching methods on Genie to test this method, and, yeah, then they kind of stopped because it was, like, not ethical or whatever.
I think an important part of that study, or, well, the experiment was, like, the critical period. So they wanted to, like, try to figure out if that critical period, which is, like, a time when you're younger, where it's, like,
you learn to walk
yeah,
and talk and
it's like,
everything.
yeah, a really important part. And if you, like, miss that critical period, then you can't, like, you're done. You're just done. So I think that's, like, really what they were looking for.
But at the same time, she did learn, like, sign language and ways to
yeah, and
communicate.
that was an interesting thing. Well, I thought at least. Like, she never really learned to talk. Like, she couldn't really speak fluent sentences, and she had a hard time with that. But she did learn to communicate. So do I think that there is a critical period? Yes, and I think it's that early part, like right when you're younger. But I think, and she obviously missed that. But she was still able to communicate. So I don't know. It's like, it's hard to say.
Maybe the critical period is more like, when you can learn to communicate, like, properly, because she learned sign language and she could make sentences, they just weren't, like, they were correct sentences, so.
Yeah. Something like that. I think it was more than just her learning to talk and walk and everything. I think the experiment also had to do with, like, how she ended up this way. Like, part of it's obvious, but then other parts it's like, was she mentally disabled when she was born, or did she become that way because of how she grew up?
Yeah, and that's like another thing that I still don't know, really.
I personally believe that she became that way, but
yeah, I think she was
fine,
yeah.
normal when she was born, but then because of how she was treated and this, that, and like in the video how it shows like evidence and everything on both sides, I personally believe that she wasn't that way when she was born.
I think if she was born that way, she wouldn't have been able to learn the means of communication that she did.
Her mental age increased by a year since she was found, and like if she was mentally disabled, that wouldn't happen.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, we should probably keep going. Okay, ethics. So what do you guys think were, what guidelines were followed, which were broken? So that's going back to like the informed consent, freedom to withdraw, confidentiality, debriefing, protection.
Well, I
Okay.
I thought that it was like, since she couldn't really talk or understand in the beginning, they can't really give her informed consent. And at the same time, other than that, she's probably the only one, or one of the only ones that would benefit from the experiment, which is great, like they should do it to help her, but they also said that the benefits should outweigh the risks. And if they're spending all this money for one person and not seeing like results or as fast the results as they want, then it's kind of like against the guidelines.
I don't think she was given, like she wasn't given the option of whether she wanted to withdraw. Like she was pretty much, well, she couldn't communicate, so how was she supposed to?
Especially
she could have been like feeling like she was, oh, I don't want this to happen, but how was she supposed to tell anybody? Nobody knew.
That's what I had done to us. Like I was sided with both, and I said there's really no decision whether they were followed or broken, because obviously, like you guys said, Genie can't speak for herself. She just has to kind of go with whatever everyone else does. So.
Why do you guys think the team was allowed to perform this study?
On kind of a selfish note for like the team that was doing it, like they could have been just like doing it to try and figure out what was actually wrong and why she ended up that way, instead of, I mean, obviously they tried to like help her and everything, but
I think that they were just really like, I guess, intrigued, because I remember in the video it talked about the Victor kid, or yeah, and there was a movie that came out about him, and that team went to that movie. They were like, wow, this is like what this girl, like, this is, we could figure things out with this girl. So I think it was just like a chance for them to like try to understand like the importance of childhood, and I don't know, I guess it could help them figure out, like, understand language learning and stuff like that.
They were probably just able to like justify like this is going to benefit this one person and give us all this knowledge, even though it's kind of against the guidelines.
Do you think we could replicate the study today?
I don't think.
I don't know.
I personally,
Just
I think we could. We just have to do things quite differently.
And we'd have to make more benefits because the risks are, as they said in like the book or whatever this was, that like the cost is a risk and it was really high cost to do all that, so they probably have to make more benefits out of it and say that they're researching more than just that.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I don't think it would be. I don't know if it'd be ethical really, because I don't know. She wasn't really given the opportunity.
Yeah, and she doesn't
to
have
say
like,
no.
Yeah. I mean, she had the opportunity, but like, there's no way for her to act on it.
Yeah.
She
So
can't.
how would you replicate this?
Yeah,
like,
so it's really not fair.